Morning. It's Wednesday, November 18th, and the bad news is very bad. COVID-19 continues its surge across the country, and many states are moving backwards, back to old tactics to fight the virus, which means closing restaurants, closing schools, asking more and more people to wear masks, to stay at home, putting limits on gatherings, only 10 for Thanksgiving, only 150 in a crowded auditorium or something. And that may soon disappear. That may be zero soon. And what are the people doing? Many people in this country still consider the virus a hoax. And what is hope? And what is the president doing? The president is doing nothing. He's thinking about his next round of golf. He's thinking about how he can overturn the election. He's thinking about how to screw up the next administration. His refusal to allow the incoming administration to meet with his pandemic task force is the actions of a mean-spirited man, very mean-spirited man. Let's assume he continues his fights. And let's assume he was told maybe he would win his fight and remain the president. What would be the problem with giving some information to his presumed successor, who might have a task force that improves the ideas of the current task force? But no, not Trump. He has to prove he's a titan. He can withstand any kind of pressure. And he continues on his rampage of mistakes. He's thinking about doing things that are unconscionable. He wants to remove troops from Iran and Afghanistan. Haphazard, no thought, against all of the experts' advice. Even Mitch McConnell expressed doubts about the things that Trump was suggesting and preparing to do. McConnell said if we do those things, we are showing weakness to the rest of the world. Now, you don't hear McConnell criticizing the president often, if ever before. So what can we expect from the people who are ignoring the pleas of their governors while the hospitals are getting overrun? And 40 states have reported record increases in the number of cases in the last couple of weeks, and the deaths have continued to rise. 20 states have recorded record numbers of deaths. Several states are worried about running out of room in their hospitals soon. Over 70,000 Americans are hospitalized for treatment of COVID-19 as of Monday, the most ever in any time since the pandemic began. Now, that's according to Reuters, a tally of the public health figures. And health experts have projected that the coming holiday travel season and the onset of colder weather, with more people tending to congregate indoors, is likely to worsen the situation. And yet, we still have naysayers out there. Now, I recognize that this fight is going to be very difficult through the winter holidays. But we need to have these tighter limits on social interaction. Because without any efforts to immediately what I will call tamp down the spread of the virus, we will have to face a more drastic action in the near future. I can't even contemplate what a more drastic action would be. But we need to be the strongest nation in the world right now. We need to have everybody who can walk and talk in the fight with us. fight with their faces covered. In Iowa, a state which was virtually untouched in the first wave, they are getting pounded. 52,000 infections in the past 2 weeks. And finally, the governor had to admit that people had to wear masks and had to limit the size of the gatherings to 15, with outdoor gatherings limited to 30. And that's including the funerals that people have to attend now that they screwed up. So in places where it was relatively safe in the first go-round, COVID has found them. And they very, very reluctantly decided to join the fight. And the governor of Iowa woke up and said, if the Iowans don't buy into this, we lose. Businesses will close once again, and schools will be forced to go online, and our healthcare system will fail, and the cost in human life will be high. It only took them 8 months to realize this. What a shanda. And it's because of places like that that the rest of us suffered. And we created this sense in some areas of this country that this was nothing more than a cold or a hoax. So we are paying the price now for the indifference in many areas, the indifference that took place in the first go-round. And COVID is standing there laughing at us. Yes, we're being beaten by a virus. I think that that's enough whining for one morning. And I'll say goodbye with little hope that this will get better soon. And I'll see you in the morning.